Are you involved in a family or a business dispute or a conflict with anybody? If yes, please see this video. Hi, do you know that professional mediation is a very effective tool in resolving any sort of dispute in the shortest possible time? And most importantly, it does it with mutual consent of both the parties. Disputes can happen anywhere and in between anybody. Within family, it can happen between a husband and a wife, between siblings related to property inheritance. It can happen between neighbors. It can happen over a land deal that we are doing, or within companies, within businesses, management and employee, within two businesses. So basically, dispute can happen anywhere. Now, the most important thing is the dispute should be resolved as early as possible, right? But does that happen? Easier said than done, isn't it? Well, we all know that doesn't happen. And many of the time, when the dispute is not resolved, it ultimately lands up in court. And if that happens, it drags on for years together. This causes a lot of anxiety, stress, frustration. Basically, it then engulfs our entire life. In such a moment, we just have one question. Is there any way by which this dispute can be resolved quickly? Well, there is a very effective way by which any dispute can be resolved, and that is professional mediation. Professional mediation is a very effective tool for dispute resolution in foreign countries. In India also, it is fast gaining prominence, and now it is being increasingly used for dispute resolution. The reason is very simple. Professional mediation very effectively resolves any complicated dispute, any long-term dispute in the shortest possible time and with mutual consent. Want to know how it does? I'll explain. I am Sanjeev Deshpande, and our firm Avivad Mediators is into professional mediation services. Resolving any sort of dispute that you have in shortest possible time is our job, and most importantly, on agreeable terms. This is what we do. Now let us understand how professional mediation actually works. So when two people or two entities or two companies are not able to resolve their disputes by themselves, they come to us for a solution. Now many times both the parties come to us, or many times it so happens that one of the party approaches us. Now when this happens, they come and say that we have come for the mediation, but the opposite party will not agree to this. That's fine. You also must be having this question, right? That I'll come, but the other person would not come. Well, don't worry. You come for mediation. Once you come for mediation, it is our job to ensure that the other party joins mediation. In fact, that is our first test, isn't it? And believe me, we are good at that. So don't worry. Anyway, so once that happens, once both the parties join the mediation process, we first have individual meetings with them. The purpose of this meeting is to understand in depth of what exactly is their side of the dispute. Once we hear them, we do the analysis of the case. And what happens is, in any dispute, it is not just about the facts, it is also about the emotions. And when the dispute drags on, the emotions take control of the entire process and the facts are set aside. So what we do is, we first separate the emotions from the facts, from the ground reality. When we do this, we again have individual meetings with the party. We place these facts in front of them and then ask them, okay, these are the facts. What solution do you see in this current circumstances considering these facts? The next thing that we do is we separate the position from the needs. Now I'll explain in short what exactly is position and needs with a very fine example. There is one orange and two people are fighting over it. Now what the ideal thing to do is cut the orange in half and give the equal share to them. The problem is both the parties are saying half the slice will not do, I want the entire orange. So now we are stuck in a deadlock. Then what we do? So their position is that they want the complete orange. Now we go to them and we ask them, why do you want the entire orange? We want to understand their need. So when we go to party A, he says that I want to make a cup of juice, a glass full of juice, and I need the entire bulk that is there inside for making that one cup. Okay, fine. That is his need. We go to the party B, we go to the next party and ask them, why do you need the entire orange? He says that I want the upper peel, the upper skin, because I want to make a face pack out of it. And I want the entire skin. Fine. So what were the positions? They wanted entire orange. What is their need? One wants the internal bulk and the other one wants the entire skin. We do it. Now, in this scenario, both are happy, both their needs are fulfilled. So now, does the dispute remain? No. So once the needs are fulfilled, dispute is automatically resolved. That's the reason we separate the position and the need. And this is how mediation works. So, once the dispute is resolved, once their needs are fulfilled, the dispute anyway doesn't remain. So then at this stage, we go in for an agreement. A proper formal agreement is signed between both the parties. Now you'd be getting a question. What is the legal status of that agreement? Whether it is valid? Let me tell you, it is legally valid. Whatever agreement is reached by professional mediation, once it is approved by the court, it is equivalent to a court decree and it is executable. So it cannot happen that the party agrees to it, they make the agreement and then they say we don't agree with it. It's enforceable. And anyway, that doesn't happen. Why? Because the agreement has been reached with their consent. Now, the most important part is, if you compare it with the legal proceedings or the courts, what happens is, a judge gives a judgment. One party is going to lose, one party is going to win. But in this case, what is happening? Both the parties are happy with the solution. That is the best part. It is not about someone winning or someone losing. It is about both of them winning. And if you see the entire process, it takes around 5 to 6 meetings. Approximate time is between 15 days to 2 months. There are few cases, of course, which prolong beyond that. There are some complicated cases as well, where multi-party are involved. But can you imagine the dispute that has been going on for years, dragging on for years, gets resolved between 5 to 6 meetings and just 2 months? That is the power of professional mediation. Now, let us understand a few points about mediation, about professional mediation. First and the most important point is, professional mediation is a completely private and confidential affair. No one outside those concerned people are aware of that you're going for professional mediation. And whatever is said or whatever views are exchanged during the mediation process are strictly confidential. Even whatever is told to the other party is not told until and unless you explicitly tell us that you can tell this thing to the other party. So whatever you say, whatever is expressed is strictly confidential between you and the mediator. The other most important point is, it is a casual process. It is not a formal process like you have a court structure or nothing. It's as simple as counseling. These are just 5 sessions, and this is just about exchange of ideas and understanding the problem. It is that simple. The third important point, mediation is complete only when you agree with the solution. Only then the agreement is reached. It is not a one-sided decision. No one can force that decision on you. No. If you say you are happy with the outcome, only then the process is complete. So the most important point is, you are okay with what comes out of the mediation process. You can also opt out of the process anytime you want. It is not a compulsion, right? So these are few points. Now let us have some, I'll try to answer some frequently asked questions about mediation. Now the first important question about mediation is that, who can come for mediation? And when can people come for mediation? In what type of disputes? The answer is very, very simple. Mediation is for everybody. Mediation is for any sort of dispute. You can come for mediation anytime you want. The other most important point is that, what is the difference between a court mediation and what is the difference between court proceedings and mediation? Let us take these points. The first point is that when a case is filed in the court, it goes into a public domain. The general public come to know about it. But mediation is private. Nobody even knows that you have come for mediation. The other point is, court cases drag on for years together. It's a very, very costly and inefficient process. Whereas mediation is quick, it is efficient, and it is a very fast process. This is the other question that people have. One more question that people have is, when our case has already been filed in the court, so when can we come for mediation? Well, you can come for mediation anytime you want, at any stage. You can come before filing the case. Even if the case has been filed and the matter is still under trial, you can approach for mediation. So basically you can come anytime. And many times it so happens that people file the case in the court. Later on they come to know that it is dragging like anything. So let's give a try to mediation. Then they come for mediation. And in mediation it is solved very quickly. Then they go back to the court and tell them that, okay, our case is resolved and we want to withdraw the cases. And court will happily do it. Why? Because our courts are burdened with cases. Government is trying its best to reduce this load. Do you know that recently a bill about mediation has been passed in both the houses? Government is trying to make it compulsory that every civil case before going to the court has to go for mediation. And if it is not resolved in mediation, then only the case can be filed in the court. So you see, that is how important mediation is. So these were some of the questions that people have regarding mediation. I think I have tried my best to explain the concept of mediation. I hope you have understood, got the main basics of it, rather we can say. If you have any further queries, any further questions, please feel free to contact us. Or if you want to get any sort of dispute results, please feel free to contact us. We will be very happy to help you out. Thank you very much for your time. Goodbye.